Okay, so good morning everyone. I am Joanna Rosales and I will be your panelist for today. And I really hope for a good discussion with you guys. So, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start.
So before we begin the formality of this discussion, let me first introduce my team. I am Shana Duman.
And I am Kristen Joy Duran.
And I am Megan Sigo.
Okay, so first, let's talk about professionalization as teaching. For you, Ms. Tungan, what is the relationship of teaching and being a professional?
When we say professionalization, somehow it is the action or a process of giving an occupation, activity, group professional activities, typically by increasing training required qualifications. And teaching is how teachers attend the needs and experiences of their students through instructions. Therefore, the relationship between teaching and being a professional should be raised and trained together and effectivity of delivering instructions.
Okay, so it's quite amazing that the relationship of these two concepts really reflects on what the teacher can do, right? Now, I want to know what is the content beyond this Presidential Decree number 1006.
Presidential Decree number 106 providing the professionalization for teachers, regulating their practice in the Philippines, and for other purposes. In comparison, the Constitution provides all educational institutions is subject to regulation by the state, and also requires that states shall establish complete, adequate, and others, with relevance to the national development goals. Also, Department of Education and Culture had adopted ways and means of overseeing all educational institutions in the country. Upon the supervision, it is being for ensuring that educational institution includes the studentry love of the country, teach the duties of citizens and others. Moreover, the effectivity of this subject is relied by the teachers who is expected to be the potent forces for the students' development, especially the proper attitudes.
To continue, because teachers are expected to be the potent forces for the students' development, this had resulted to a tremendous growth for the teaching population to 300,000 and be deployed all over the country. And with the evidency of this recruitment, qualitative requirements are not overlooked and had become a necessity. Yet, studying to become a teacher for 4 years, still after the grading is not yet considered as a profession, but to recognize the vital role of the teacher for the nation it is imperative that teachers is considered as professionals and teaching is a profession.
I agree with the term teachers act as potent forces for the students' development. And I'm also curious, what is this Republic Act number 7836 and why do teachers need to have or is it need to know about this?
The Republic Act number 7836 is also known as Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994. Then teachers do need to know about this existing act. It's because this act is used to strengthen the regulation of the practice teaching here in the Philippines. And that's also the prescription of license or examination for teachers is included.
So what are the objectives that have been set on this act?
Well, under Article 3 of this Act, the objectives were the promotion, development, and professionalizations of teachers and teaching profession, and the supervision and regulation of the licensure examination.
As we all know, teaching profession concerned mainly with classroom instruction, right? Meanwhile, a teacher is a person who's engaged in teaching. And as for you, as a pre-service teacher, on your own definition, what is teaching and being a teacher?
Teaching for me is how a teacher to give lectures and who does an effective instruction. And being a teacher is the one who acts his or her profession and provides physically the needs of his or her students.
Oh, so given the definition, I know by now that teachers is also need to take examinations. The question is, why does examination, registration, and license
is required in teaching?
Well, because these creeds have something to do with the objectives being set in the first place. And so this includes having a chance at least once a year to undergo written examination. And also, upon practicing as a professional teacher, one must have a valid certificate and a valid professional license.
Okay, so upon taking the exams, I am also curious, is there a difference between taking the exams like teachers from elementary and secondary?
Yes, there is a difference. Under Article 3, Section 14, it is stated that teachers from elementary do take two parts of the exam, which is the professional education and general education. Then, meanwhile, in secondary, there are three parts: professional education, general education, and also specialization. Like teachers who majored in English, Filipino, or PE.
Okay, so what about qualifications? Is there any qualifications for people who will apply for the said professional examinations?
Well, ma'am, yes, very much there is. A qualified examiner should be a citizen of the Philippines or an alien whose country has reciprocity with the Philippines in the practice of teaching, and also at least 18 years of age, in good health and of good reputation with high moral values, has not been convicted by final judgment. Lastly, a graduate of a school, college, or in a university. In connection, the passers of this examination will be announced after 120 days in the Professional Regulation Commission.
Okay, so what happens after passing the exam, and what are the steps that might take away after the announcement of passers?
Well, it was stated that the registration of a professional teacher commences from the date his name is enrolled in the roster of professional teachers. Those who are registered will be paying a professional registration fee and be issued a certificate of registration as a professional. The certificate shall remain in full force and effect until withdrawn, suspended, or revoked in accordance with the law. Also, before practicing as a professional teacher, passers are required to take their professional oath.
Well, ma'am, in addition to that, teachers are encouraged to grow professionally and develop their skills, and they would add to their merit promotion rather, as well as performance rating, and they are needed to take this orally and in written form at least once in 5 years. And this certificate of registration or license could be subject to suspension and or revocation in accordance to the law.
Okay, so can we call a person with teaching experiences a professional? Or can he or she is allowed to teach and get appointed to any teaching positions without the certificate of registration or professional license?
No. As stated under Article 4, Section 27, no person shall practice or offer to practice the teaching profession in the Philippines or be appointed in any teaching position without obtaining a license or the certificate of registration for professional teachers.
Okay, so now let's move on to the Republic Act number 6713, also known as Code of Conduct for Public Officials and Employees. And so, what is the very essence of this code, and who are the people included in this?
Well, ma'am, by the name itself, stated people who is included in this act basically is the public officials and employees rather. And so the essence of this act is to uphold the time-honored principle of the public office being awards for exemplary service and others.
Okay, so if we citizens of the state do have these norms to follow as citizens, do public officials and employees also have norms?
Yes, public officials and employees do also have this what they call norms of conduct, and these are the commitment to public interest, professionalism, justice, and sincerity, political neutrality, responsiveness to the public, nationalism, and patriotism, commitment to democracy, and simple living.
Okay, so I also heard, just like teachers, they also hold duties. What are the duties being discussed under this act?
Just like teachers stated and mandated by the law, public officials and employees do also hold duties, and this is to act promptly in letters and requests, submission of annual performance reports, process documents and papers expeditiously, act immediately on the public's personal transactions, and also making documents accessible to the public.
As we live in this sinful world, and so what are the prohibited and considered unlawful acts being set by these public officials and employees?
Well, that ma'am, under Section 7, under this Act, the first prohibited act and transactions and is considered unlawful is the financial and material interest and outside employees and other activities related there to disclosure and or misuse of confidential information, and lastly, solicitation or acceptance of trust.
If I am not mistaken, the public has the right to know about their assets, liabilities, net worth, financial and business interests. And if that's the case, why do public officials and employees should be an open book or be transparent about their financial capacity to the public?
As a public official or employee, the money or compensation that they get comes from the government, and we all know government is for the people, which means the money that comes along with the government comes from the people, and this is the very reason why public officials and employees should be transparent and be an open book for they are compensated in accordance with the people's money.
Okay, so why do teachers need to know about this code or act? And what is the relevance of knowing this act to the professional life of a
Well,
teacher?
first and foremost, if teachers apply for public schools, well, they will be considered as one of the public employees, and therefore, even though code of ethics is existing rather to the life of a teacher, but still, they needed to know more about this act, for it applies to the public and also to the state that they are belong to.
So Commonwealth Act 578 is also known as what? And who are the included persons behind this act?
Well, to that an act to amend Article 152 of the revised penal code, and this includes teachers, professors, and persons charged with the supervision of public or duly rather recognized private schools, colleges, and universities shall be deemed persons in authority.
Okay, so very good. Moreover, this means that people who is recognized as a teaching personnel inside an institution or a college or a university is considered as teachers, as persons in authority. And so this ends our discussion for today. It's a good wrap, everyone. And congratulations on your team. I hope to see you and discuss important matters about teaching profession more soon.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
God bless, ma'am.